Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sebastian, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, and entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things that I always see. Today, we got a pretty serious show for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel, and make sure you follow me on Instagram. My handle is CTABANZ. So right now, Stephen A. Smith currently finds himself in yet another dispute, and this time it has to do with former ESPN host Michelle Beadle. We actually did a show about it where she expressed how she truly felt about the guy, essentially saying that, she prays for his downfall, right? And basically said that ESPN gave him total control of the network and he's walking all over them. I mean, she just went off on him, right? And as you guys know, Stephen A. Smith signed a new deal with SiriusXM, and apparently the time slot that he got was a time slot that used to belong to Michelle Beadle, right? So Michelle Beadle is not a fan of his at all, and then Stephen A. Smith did a response show yesterday. So Stephen A. Smith always finds himself in the midst of some type of drama. But ESPN is going through some other turmoil that was brought to my attention yesterday from a Sports Illustrated article that we uncovered. And I want to read the title of this article. It says, ESPN and the horrible, rotten, no good, very bad week. And I'm like, whoa, well, what are these guys saying here? So let me continue on with the article. It says, Stephen A. Smith appeared in an AI generated ad for a sketchy company this week. That's not even the worst thing ESPN has had to deal with this week. And then continues on. ESPN has had a very bad week. They lost a ton of viewers. They lost their gambling app. They have high profile personalities generating embarrassing headlines, and ratings are down. Just about everything that could go wrong has gone wrong for ESPN over the last week, and there's really no indication that any of these things will change anytime soon. Here's a brief recap of everything the worldwide leader in sport has dealt with in early November. Note that most of it doesn't actually have anything to do with sports. It then continues on. ESPN versus YouTube TV. ESPN has been off YouTube TV for a week now, and approximately 10 million people have been without the network for 2 Monday Night Football broadcasts in a row now. A full slate of college football went unwatched last week. This week, fans will miss college football, college basketball, and the NBA. If ESPN and YouTube TV don't work things out by Wednesday, subscribers will miss the only remaining Inside the NBA broadcast until Christmas. This has led to some ESPN employees telling fans what they can do to take action, which in turn led to Pat McAfee going on ESPN to call out his colleagues, saying, "Stop telling people to go to a website to save a multi-billion-dollar deal. Nobody cares what you have to say." Rip ESPN Bet. After 2 disappointing years, ESPN is shuttering ESPN Bet and breaking up with Penn, who previously couldn't make things work with Barstool Sports. With Penn gone, ESPN will now partner with DraftKings. So say goodbye to all of your favorite ESPN Bet branded bits and say hello to gambling promotions on every single ESPN show brought to you by DraftKings. Stephen A's sketchy Solitaire app. Remember when Stephen A. Smith was caught playing Solitaire during the NBA Finals? Well, he thankfully turned that into another income stream. This week, Smith debuted an AI-generated ad for a game called Solitaire Cash. So far, Dan Orlovsky, Mina Kimes, Kendrick Perkins, and Laura Rutledge have joined Smith in promoting the app. The main problem? Solitaire Cash is run by Papaya Gaming, a company currently being sued for false advertising and rigged games. Smith and his co-workers pushing the app this week has resulted in the following headlines. Stephen A. Smith and other ESPN partners with obscenely scoozy mobile casino. Solitaire app pushed by ESPN stars faces suit over bots, rigged games. Top ESPN personalities are selling out for Stephen A. Smith's sketchy Solitaire app, awful announcing. It then continues on. According to Alex Walden, a poker scout, Papaya no longer disputes that. At one time, it pitted human players against computer-controlled adversaries. Some were used to fill tournaments and had insufficient human players, but others were deployed to guarantee a specific outcome, win or lose, for a particular player. You would think this isn't the great partnership for ESPN personalities take on while they change betting partners and cover gambling scandals, but as long as people are still watching, bad ratings. The Week 9 Monday Night Football game between the Cardinals and Cowboys drew 16.2 million viewers between ESPN, ABC, ESPN2, ESPN, Deportes, and NFL Plus. Considering Dallas was involved, that doesn't sound great, and it turns out it isn't. As SportsCenter's Jimmy Trinier points out, that's down from the last 2 weeks of MNF games and way down from last week's Week 9 matchup. ESPN's PR tweet promoting the ratings as one of ESPN's top Week 9 audiences even earned a community note. And then it says the viewership was down 20% or 4 million from Week 9 2024, averaging 20.6 million in Week 9 2024 Bucks versus Chiefs. How much of that 20% dip can be directly attributed to YouTube's TV carriage dispute? It's unclear at the moment. But when approximately 10 million people lose access to games, you have to assume it's going to have an adverse effect. So you heard that article from Sports Illustrated. What are my thoughts about this? Well, look, guys. Sometimes companies go through ebbs and flows. Sometimes you have a great year, things are going well. You may have a great quarter, things are going well, you can't miss. And then there are other times where things slow down and you make some mistakes, you have some missteps. I think that's just part of business. Business isn't done in a straight line, man. Sometimes you hit road bumps. Sometimes things are going to happen. Now, the most important thing is to kind of learn from your mistakes, see what you did wrong, see where you can improve, and make things better. One would hope that given some of these missteps that ESPN has made, they would be able to rectify it in some way, shape, or form. It is a bit telling, though, that you have some people like, for example, Pat McAfee, who seems to be kind of a rebel at the network, who's gone at certain executives, is now going at some of his colleagues. That's pretty interesting to see how he kind of views himself. And it's interesting. It seems like Pat McAfee views himself as an outsider working at ESPN. That's the sense that I get. Whereas you have people like Stephen A. Smith who have made it publicly known that, he is ESPN through and through. So they're currently going through a difficult patch, but that doesn't mean that ESPN is going to come to an end tomorrow. We've been hearing this for years now, right? ESPN is going to fall apart and the company is going to fail, and somehow, some way, they still find a way to bounce back. They're the worldwide leader in sport, right? So for them to lose, it's going to take a lot. And when you look at what just happened at FS1, given all of the shows that they canceled, all of the people that they fired, if there's going to be anybody to topple ESPN, it won't be Fox Sports, right? So it is what it is. This happens from time to time. You guys let me know what you think about this in the comment section. We'll catch you guys on the next show, and I'm out. Peace.